2, 3, go, and I say go, that's the magic word, you are going to lift up either the true card or the false card, depending on what you believe is true or false. Okay? Are we good with that? Okay, and these are all facts and figures about your program, Capel's DIY program. Okay? Are you ready? All right. Here we go. Number 1. Capel ISD offers a one-way dual language immersion program. Okay. What? See, I told y'all we're going to have fun. You're so excited. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. And the reason why I have 2 different colors is because as a teacher I can easily scan the room and I see a couple of reds and a couple of lots of blues and a couple of reds, so I can easily scan the room without having to see, is that a T, is that an F? You see? Okay, so let's talk about this. Somebody, who said it was true. Why do you think it's true? Somebody who thinks it's false. Why do you think it's false? I'm just going to give you some processing time.
Well, we have 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade is a one-way program, and it used to be bilingual, but starting in January, they began being referred to as a dual language immersion.
Okay. Anybody else?
Because our students all speak Spanish as their first language, so it's there's not a mixed group also in the classroom.
Okay, so that makes it one way.
Right.
Okay.
Just
So do you have some one way, do you have some two way, you're saying?
I don't want to assume we have. No, I just don't want to assume that everybody knows everything, especially with our new friend, so that she understands. Because when we all started, we were like, okay, one way means this, and
Okay, well let's go over that.
Teacher model.
What
and
is
the what? And the,
what does one way mean? One way. What does one way dual language program mean?
Only one language is spoken.
Okay, so let's.
Students speak only one language.
Okay, so let's put into context of your students. So in this case, you have native Spanish speakers who are all learning a second language, which is English. So it's one way, native Spanish to English. Okay, and then what would be a two-way?
Half the English speakers and half Spanish speakers.
Okay, good.
Native speakers.
No, that's
Native, yes, native. Okay, so half your students, roughly half, okay, native Spanish speakers are learning English, and another group of English native speakers are learning Spanish. Okay, and that's it. Whether it's self-contained or you have 2 teachers or 5 teachers, that doesn't matter. The definition of one way and two way is just what we said. Okay, so everybody comfortable with that? Okay, so those of you who were able to hear the other side of what you didn't choose, whether it was the true or the false, are you okay with the explanations? Are we okay? Okay, good. Here's the second one. The DLI program is currently housed at 2 campuses for Capel. What? Okay,
Wait.
processing time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, do a quick scan. Very good. Everyone is in agreement. Okay, let's talk about why we're in agreement.
We're all from Wilson or anything.
Yeah. When I asked, they told me it was Wilson, and then
Okay. All right. And I believe that that is true. That's completely true, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the third one. The DLI program is characterized by a 50-50 design. Okay, I'm going to give you some processing time on that. Is characterized by a 50-50 design. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay? All right, so let's process that.
Are we talking intent or actualization?
It's just what it says. Your program is characterized by 50-50 design.
The intent.
It's the design. Sometimes we resort to a little bit of one language or another, but the design is a 50-50 design.
Okay. Does anybody want to add anything that might have changed your answer a little bit? Or discuss anything?
well, and in the two-way program, it really is because our schedule. You have 2 teachers, So they're 50% of the instructional day in the Spanish classroom and 50% of the instructional day in the English classroom.
And that is a real key point to the design and program development, because that is the piece that keeps the 50-50 accountable and really keeps the fidelity of the model. Because when you're in a self-contained classroom, of course, you have the option to go backward. And then with text is a little bit different when you're working with text grades. So there has to be a little bit of flexibility with that too. But yes, absolutely. When you're team teaching, 50-50, and you've already set up your schedule, that helps keep the fidelity of the program. Okay, anything else? Okay, next fact or figure, number 4. The language of instruction is separated by content. The language of instruction is separated by content. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, and tell me what you all mean by that.
Language is not content specific.
Okay.
So if we're using the model that we are using in Capel, we do a 50-50. So language arts, math, science, and social studies is taught in both languages. If you use another model like Gomez and Gomez, then you will have content language paired up,
Okay.
which is not our case.
Okay, so tell me how Capel's DLI program is separated. How are you separating the language of instruction? If it's not by content, then what is it by?
Especially two-way, if y'all want to talk about that, because that makes it so much clearer.
Ours is by day.
Okay, good. Okay, and tell us what that means.
Well, one day, we trade classes every other day.
Okay.
So I have each group every other day. And then
Okay.
vice versa in the Spanish.
Okay, good. So it's by day.
Kindergarten is half a day, so I teach the Spanish language arts to one group of children for 1 week, and they're getting, the other group is getting English, and then in the afternoon, I get the other different kind of kids for math, and that's the whole week. The following week, we switch, so children get 1 week of Spanish language arts and 1 week of English language arts, and the same with the Spanish.
Okay, very good. How about our self-contained classes? If it's not separated by content, how are you separating the language?
We did schedule-wise.
Okay, and what does that look like?
I always done Monday, Tuesday in English, Wednesday, Thursday in Spanish, and then Friday it flip-flops,
Okay.
depending on the needs.
So also by day?
Mhm.
Okay. All the other self-contained classes, you're pretty much in agreement with that? Okay, okay, very good. I think I have one here. Okay. Oh, this one was not a true false, because it was a fill in the blank, but currently about blank number of students are served in the DLI program by 12 teachers. So, Teresa, you're gonna need your help here to, for the guessing.
I know, that's what I'm doing right now.
22, 136.
Everybody tell me.
About 140 kids?
There's 80 between kindergarten and first grade.
What?
From Varela.
20 that's 100.
140?
20, 140.
Well, are we counting
All the
pre-K?
way up.
40,
180.
no. About 160?
185.
185?
I was gonna say around
We've got
160.
65.
Oh, I didn't
Mhm.
say that.
Is that right? Y'all have 40?
Yeah, because remember you have to count the English speakers in the
Yeah.
kinder and the
Right,
first.
right.
But
We
no
have
pre-K.
33. We have 23.
Don't count the pre-K because they're not in DLI, they're
It's
in
58.
bilingual.
58 and then 58. So, yeah, 180.
So just under 200 for both schools.
185, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Good
let's
job, April.
say 185.
All right, good. Okay, so about 185. Okay, good. So about 185 students are served by about 12 teachers. Is that right? 12? I think I observed 12 different teachers. Okay.
hard to make your classroom reflect it
Sure.
if you don't understand it, I would say.
Okay.
And I still hear, well, we just don't know anything about you. We just don't know
What
anything
is that?
about it.
What does that mean?
So if we understand this, we can.
We have to know.
Absolutely. Any other ideas?
I think it sets a level playing for everybody to understand definitions and where we're going to. Because one of the things that we struggle as our group has been developing is the one-way or the dual, the one-way immersion, the two-way immersion. What does it mean in the classroom? So with this, we have a base from where to start, where everybody is in the same spot when we're starting our discussion.
Good. Yeah. Okay, any other ideas? Okay, and another reason, definitely for what you all just said, another reason is because when you go and find professional development for yourself, whether it's just through research or you're trying to find answers for yourself, because as you just said, sometimes it's a struggle to know how this translates. It was good on paper, but then how does it translate into the actual classroom when you're actually doing it? And you talk to your friends that are in other districts or other places, and they start talking about their dual language program. It's important to know what your model is and what your design is, because what's going to happen is, if you're not familiar with that, you start hearing things about other dual language programs out there, and then you start saying, oh, well, I'm not doing that, I should probably do that, and it may not be, it may be totally contrary to what your design is for your district. So that's really important. Also, as you go to conferences and things like that in the future, you have to know what kind of